I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. May is Asian American and Pacific Islanders Heritage Month, and the second week of the month observes Taiwanese American heritage. To showcase the artistry of the region, the Michigan Taiwanese American Association hosted a concert at the Ann Arbor District Library, Chants of the Motherland Saga.
Today's show is very wonderful. It's a story from the very south of Taiwan, Henchun, a small town of the Pingtung County.
A beautiful music that's talking about the story of old days of the women, how they've been going through their life, and we certainly and singing and doing it by singing the song.
这个民谣是在我们台湾最南端，我们的阿嬷、阿公 grandmother、grandfather 他们平常生活，鼓励大家一起努力，还有分享彼此的酸甜苦辣，所流传下来，唱了100多年的民谣。
因为恒春民谣里面，他们在他们的历史里面有各种不同的调，7种调。那他们在会因不一样的情境，他自己不一样的心情去唱符合心情的调。对，所以。
It's a wonderful time. The music has touched a lot of my own feeling about my own culture, and this just gives me an opportunity to really kind of sort of reconnect with my own culture, my own feeling.
要就是唱我们这些阿嬷他们在年轻的时候，因为是交通不方便，还有很多没有办法自主那鼓励自己唱的歌。
Listening to this wonderful music and wonderful musical, it just feels great.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. May is also Water Awareness Month, and to recognize the tranquility of water and the peace it provides, visit the Ann Arbor Water Lantern Festival on May 18th at Martindale Beach at Kensington Metro Park. Ann Arbor's Water Lantern Festival brought the beauty of nature and inner thoughts to light.
It's a celebration for the community to come together, enjoy each other's company, and send out some messages, good vibes, hopes and dreams, whatever, out to the cosmos on the water.
I made a plan to try things that are new and look for things that are new, and this is something that's new to me. So I wanted to try it and come down and see what it was all about.
Just hanging out, having a lot of fun. It's been a day full of activities.
The lanterns float atop the water with one-of-a-kind messages of positivity.
When we have people that come out and put their hopes and dreams on their lanterns, we have people that write messages to lost loved ones, to friends that are far away. Sometimes we find like jokes, comic strips, whatever, like anything and everything on the lanterns. The event culminates with the lantern launch at sunset. Everyone has decorated their lanterns, and as soon as they're directed by the DJ, they will go to the edge of the water and release their lanterns out.
I'm recognizing my family and my grandparents that have passed and my mother that has passed.
Life is easy if we choose to be the star of our own life. And it all starts with love.
Love and light to everyone.
Our four-legged friends love to get out of the house to enjoy a walk or run freely at their designated parks. Learn more about dog licensing and leash laws in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, I'm Rachel Weinberg with the Ann Arbor City Clerk's Office, here to talk about dog licenses. All dogs in the city of Ann Arbor must be licensed. Not only does licensing help in reuniting lost dogs with their owners, but it's also a state law. Did you know the City Council recently changed the dog license ordinance to coincide with state law? Now dog licenses are issued for either 1 or 3 years and will expire the month your dog is due for their next rabies shot. Licensing your dog in Ann Arbor is easy. To apply, you will need a copy of your dog's most recent rabies vaccine and proof of spay or neuter if applicable. You have 3 options for applying. Online at stream.a2gov.org, and we will mail your license. Download an application from the city clerk website at a2gov.org and either mail it or drop it off in the convenient drop box at City Hall in the Ann Street vestibule, or apply in person. Make sure to check the city website to ensure we're open before you make a trip. Also, please adhere to the City of Ann Arbor leash law and remember to leash your dog in any place other than in your yard or at a designated off-leash dog park.
Water is life, and we're lucky enough to have the mighty Huron River running through our area, providing us with clean drinking water, fuel for our plants and wildlife, and recreation. For all it offers to us, we celebrate it during Huron River Day. Joining me is Pam Labadie, Marketing Director for the Huron River Watershed Council. Welcome to the show, Pam.
Thanks, Dana. I'm glad to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Huron River Day, why it was started, and why we continue to celebrate it year after year?
I sure can. So Huron River Day was started in 1980 by 2 local women. They wanted to call attention to the river and bring people out to experience it and learn about it. And they also wanted to gather sort of our local governments and nonprofit organizations to help collaborate it and put it together.
It's crazy to think that 1980 was so long ago already, but I'm sure the river was completely different in 1980 as it is today in 2024 because we have so many river stewards.
Yes, I can imagine that you are right. The Clean Water Act was enacted in 1970, and so I know a lot of changes and work to protect the river and restore it kind of started at that time. So I'm sure it's quite different than it was back in those days.
Yeah, even thinking about, I don't know when you were born, but I was an 80s kid, but like thinking about the way people used to treat the environment in the 80s compared to the 2000s and beyond, like people used to just throw trash out their car and that stuff would end up in your waterways and stuff. And now if someone were to throw trash out their window of their car, you would get called out for that.
That's right. People would stop and look at you and, probably give you a little bit of grief about that. So
Yeah.
yes, it is kind of interesting to think about Shirley and Eunice starting this event back at a time when maybe the Huron River was not so well thought of by local residents.
Yeah, because today I feel like most of us at least cherish the river and all that it offers to us.
Yeah, it really is our area's most prominent natural feature. And the city of Ann Arbor gets drinking water from the Huron River. And I feel like a lot of people know that. So many people recreate it on an annual basis every year. Hundreds of thousands of people head out to the river to either paddle or swim or fish or just, even be near it.
Yeah, it really is just beautiful to be by the river. There's something special.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's why I love being in Michigan.
Can you tell me, Pam, you've worked with the Huron River Watershed Council for some time now. What does the river mean to you? Because obviously your job is protecting the river. It has to really have some deep meaning for the people that work at Huron River Watershed Council.
I think you're definitely right, Dana. Well, first of all, I'm a Michigan girl through and through. I was born in Michigan, raised in Michigan, except for a few short years. I've lived almost my whole life here. I'm very identified with water, the Great Lakes, grew up swimming and boating and fishing for perch with my grandparents on local lakes and Lake St. Clair. And I'm definitely a mission-driven person. It's been a great pleasure to work at the Watershed Council and feel like I'm giving back to my local water. And I think ahead. I have 2 kids. They're both in college now, but I think about their future and living in Michigan and in the Ann Arbor area. I want them and their kids to have clean water. So that's really what it means to me to work, for the Huron River Watershed Council and to work for the river.
I will say from personal experience, like you said, your children, having children makes you think about the future differently and about the environment differently. Because, I mean, you think about like, oh, well, I could probably in my lifetime, water will be clean, hopefully, and okay to drink. But then you start thinking about your kids and their kids, if they have kids in the future. And then you're like, man, I don't want my generational children to have problems with having clean drinking water. This is why we have to like make it a point that they know that they have to be stewards of our waterways as well.
Yeah, I think that's true. And that kind of gets at Huron River Day. In general, it's a very family-friendly event. We bring out a lot of local organizations, and some of the activities are definitely geared towards families with kids to come out and have fun and just learn about the river and learn about being stewards.
Well, and that's what I wanted to mention, or I want you to talk a little bit about, is that there's activities for families at the Huron River Day. If you could tell us a little bit more about the activities. And the best thing about these activities is that you're learning, they're educational, but they're also fun.
Yes, that's very true. So we have 3 or 4 really special organizations that are coming out with nature-based or environmental activities. We've got the Leslie Science and Nature Center that's going to bring some of their birds of prey so people can learn about the wildlife that depend on the river. The Huron River Watershed Council will be there. We're going to do a bug demo. So we have these river roundups a couple times a year where we go out and collect bugs that are environmental indicators for the health of the river. So we'll show up with some bugs that people can kind of look at and understand and learn about these aquatic creatures and how cool they are. We have an exhibitor called the Dirt Doctors, and they have really kind of a fun, interactive performance where they teach people about erosion actually and what are some of the impacts of dirt and pollution and how does that get into our local waterways. And then our last big sort of activity is the Metro Parks will be there with their mobile learning unit, which has really kind of a nice display of river ecology and sort of the natural environment around the river. So there are those sort of active exhibitors and then a whole bunch of others that talk about the work that they do and how people can protect the river and what they can do at home and with their families and kids. So a lot of things like that.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that you can learn something every year when you go to like Earth Day, the Huron River Day, because it's our knowledge of the environment is constantly evolving and changing. And something that might have been like the hot topic last year is now like sort of secondary to whatever like the new thing is. And it's just like this constant learning, which I love about these events because I feel like it helps you to live life in a more environmentally conscious way going forward.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think our families and our kids will engage with a lot of organizations and people who are giving back to their community. And in this way, they're giving back by protecting and stewarding our clean water resources here in the area. So, to me, that's kind of exciting that our young people get to see that and get to meet people who are doing those kinds of things. And, maybe it will spark ideas for them and interest in, pursuing those kinds of activities or careers for themselves.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also musical acts throughout the day.
Yeah, we put a lot of work into making it fun, and we have a few local beloved bands that are going to be there. Hullabaloo will be performing, the Pontiac Trailblazers, and then Gemini, which is another sort of local favorite for families. And we also have the Huron River Flute Circle. So that's sort of a Native American music act that's going to be there, teaching people about, flute circles and that sort of cultural music.
Well, the Huron River Day, I believe, I don't know, 5+ years ago, it used to be in July and then it got moved to May, which at the time I was like, it's a little cold in May to get on the river. But these days with climate change, we're seeing a different, I think people are probably on the river already here. So talk about that recreation aspect of it, because part of Huron River Day, it's almost like the start of the season to get on the river.
That's true. We did used to hold it in July, and a few years ago we decided to move it to May, to the shoulder season. We found that weather in May was pretty good, and we felt like it was a nice way to kick off the summer. Another thing that's different about Huron River Day this year is we've moved the location. So this year we're going to be at Island Park in Ann Arbor. So we have to step away from our traditional spot over at Gallup Park. There's some construction happening over there this season, and that was going to interrupt our spot, our location. So we're kind of excited to show off this new location. It's a really neat place sort of in the heart of Ann Arbor, and it will give people a really new experience to just get over to Island Park.
And you can still get on the river from Gallup. How does that work if you want to canoe or kayak or anything? Is that available?
Yeah, so the Ann Arbor Canoe Liveries opened last weekend. So they're up and running on the weekends. They're doing their early season schedule. And weather permitting and conditions permitting, Argo livery will be open, and folks can do that paddle trip from Argo to Gallup if they so choose. We're not able to offer the same kind of paddle experience that we have in the past because of our new location this year. But certainly that's available for people to experience if they want to. And the other thing that's kind of exciting, this is a little bit of a recreation opportunity. Island Park is, right on the border to border trail, so easy accessibility. And we're encouraging families and people who want to bike, walk, or run over to Huron River Day from Island Park or to Island Park.
Yeah, I was reading about that. I'm like, that sounds actually, family bike rides are like one of my favorite things to do. I love riding bikes with the fam. So I think that is just like a icing on the top of the cake to like get on your bikes with your family to get there.
Yeah, and we have Common Cycle who's coming out, and they'll have a bike corral, so you can conveniently park your bike and know that it'll be safe and secure while you're, enjoying some food or listening to music.
Did you want to mention some of the food vendors that might be there?
Yeah, sure. We've got an exciting lineup of delicious food to eat. So we've got pizza pazza, hummus falafel, EJ's street cuisine. We've got, I'm forgetting, Hello Ice Cream is coming, and Why Not Pie, and then the coffee grind. So we have a really nice mix of, different kinds of food. People can come have dessert, a piece of pie, or they can, grab lunch. And we'll have a nice picnic area set up for everyone to hang out and really enjoy the day.
When is this year's festival or Huron River Day?
Yeah, Huron River Day is Sunday, May 19th, from noon till 4 p.m. And again, it's at Island Park. We're asking folks who need to drive to the event to plan to park at Fuller Park. We've got the Fuller Park lot reserved and the parking lot across the street from Fuller Park. And there will be plenty of parking for folks. They'll need to walk through Fuller Park. We'll have signs and, it will be really obvious. We'll have a welcome tent at Fuller Park. So everyone will know, where to go and how to get to Island Park to enjoy the event.
And there's Huron River merch that people can buy now too?
Yes, the city of Ann Arbor, which is, the main partner for this event and really our host, has made an online store. So if people are interested, they can head to the website and, purchase, a couple gear items with the Huron River Day logo. I think there are t-shirts and maybe tote bags, but yeah.
This stuff's really cute. And I have a husband that loves local like t-shirts, like anything.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the laundromat, you got the Huron River, So I think it's actually a good gift to give people. And there's some holidays coming up for dads and moms.
Mother's Day, Father's Day, make a good gift.
Yeah, totally. Why do you feel like we should obviously be protecting the river every day of the year? Huron River Day is a celebration and it teaches you about the river and stuff, but we really need to be protecting the river every single day.
Yes, that is true, right? I mean, if we want to get out and be able to enjoy it, paddling, swimming, biking by it, just hanging out and feeling those positive ions from the water, we need to, just take responsibility to do what we can to take care of it. And luckily, there are a lot of like easy things that homeowners can do. That help prevent pollution. And then, the big reason here in Ann Arbor is because the river does supply our drinking water. And, if we want to have clean drinking water, we need to have a clean river. So those are two big reasons to, be a river steward.
Yeah, and our drinking water is always winning awards. It's like some of the best water in Michigan, I feel like. And honestly, I grew up somewhere else and then coming here, the tap water is better here. I think it tastes better here.
Yeah, well, they say everyone develops a preference for their own tap water. So so you fell into that group, Dana.
Yeah, I'm happy to like the tap water though.
Yeah, and this is off topic, but Drinking Water Awareness Week is coming up. I think that starts on May the 7th. So, this is a good time to just get in touch with where your drinking water comes from and how that all works.
Yeah, and you can tour the water treatment they have an open house every year. So that's like you can really get behind the scenes and see what they do to the water, which is actually really cool to see.
We'll be there with a booth, so people will be able to make that connection between the river and what does come out of the tap.
Well, we're almost out of time, but before we go, why do you think people should come out to the Huron River Day? And I think having this new location is sort of nice to see something different. I don't know if I've actually been to Island Park before.
I think that you just nailed it right there. You're gonna get to experience a new location, a new place that maybe you haven't been here in the city of Ann Arbor. One thing that we're offering during the event are nature hikes. So the city of Ann Arbor's natural areas preservation staff will be there and they'll lead folks through some of the trails that start at Island Park. You're going to learn about the river in a fun, family-friendly way. It's free. There's free music, free food. It's really just a day to get out and enjoy the river, enjoy, being in a local park in Ann Arbor and, feel like you're learning something at the same time. So yeah, I hope people will join us. We're really excited.
Well, thank you, Pam, so much. It was great talking to you about Huron River Day.
Yeah, it was good talking to you too, Dana.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching and tune in next time to FYI.